What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we're here for our unscripted review of Monday Night Raw for March 2nd, 2020. This is the first Monday Night Raw since Super Letdown, and of course 2 days after one of the best pay-per-views you will see in a good while, Revolution by AEW. This show was advertised to have AJ Styles versus Aleister Black, Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler after Asuka was injured, Humberto Carrillo and Rey Mysterio versus Andrade and Angel Garza. This was going to hopefully be a really, really good show. Started off good, ended good, everything else in the middle was trash. We found out what was hiding in Eric Rowan's cage to major disappointments. Ricochet is deader than dead. Aleister Black's unbeatenness in Monday Night Raw thrown away for a build towards Undertaker AJ Styles, and so much more. The shows from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Tom Phillips, Jerry Lawler, Byron Saxton are all here. Heyman comes out with Brock Lesnar first. They are making an appearance for the hell of it as we have to start building towards WrestleMania since Super Letdown is over and we already know that it's Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. Heyman begins his usual spiel introducing him. He says their job is to come out here and hype WrestleMania, and this is the most loaded WrestleMania in history. Bullshit. This is by far not even close to the most loaded WrestleMania in history. But the main event is a sham. Exactly. Roman Reigns versus Shitberg is a major sham. But he wasn't talking about that, of course. Because everyone knows it. They want to sell you on Drew McIntyre. But Drew is a hyped up fraud. And goes on about the Royal Rumble match and what happened to Drew with Brock Lesnar apparently eliminating 15 of the top wrestlers, top superstars in WWE. I'm pretty sure a majority of those who were in the first 15 were mid-carder to bums. There were no top stars in that first 15 outside of potentially Keith Lee. He was the only one that I could think out of the first 15 who actually could be a major star in WWE. But what happened? He got hit in the dick, he got booted over the top, and that doesn't mean Drew McIntyre can beat him, let alone at WrestleMania. He calls Drew a stupid big bitch that's going to get squashed. But out comes Drew McIntyre. Drew hits the ring, and Lesnar just stares at him. They circle a little bit. Which, by the way, Brock Lesnar's the next episode of Ruthless Aggression, which I've seen the first 3, and my God, how bad they are rewriting history. But Brock Lesnar's piece is up tonight, so I have to check that out. Lesnar, they're just stopping. You can just see Lesnar, he's pointing. He's like, you know what? We're not going to fight right now. Wait till WrestleMania. He's just pointing out the sign. He's like, we're going to wait till then. So he goes to leave, turns around, charges, boom, Claymore kick right to him. Heyman is stunned. Fans are going crazy. Lesnar is in the ring as he's down. We go to replays on it. Lesnar struggles to get up. A "You deserve it" chant breaks out. A "Hey, hey, goodbye" chant rings out as he's leaving the ring. Lesnar is furious as he backs up the ramp, clutching the title. All of a sudden, you see, which it sucks that they got rid of the little square that used to be where people would come in. It's around. They had to go around the corner now because back with when they had the little square in the Titantron area, they could have done this a lot better. But you see Drew McIntyre running out as Brock Lesnar turns around. Another Claymore kick. He is down still. He's getting up. Lesnar chants one more time. Slowly gets up. Third Claymore kick. One, and that is that. McIntyre says, "Don't you ever doubt me," or something like that, and goes away as his music is hit. Now, am I the only one who has this fear in the pit of their stomach that this is not going to go the way we hope it does with Brock Lesnar dropping the title to Drew McIntyre? Is Vince McMahon going to be so selfish that the only person he wants people to talk about winning a world title at WrestleMania is Roman Reigns, that he's going to sacrifice Drew McIntyre and have Brock Lesnar hold on to that title till SummerSlam, dropping it to a Bobby Lashley or somebody else? I know I want to get my hopes up that Vince McMahon is going to do the right thing and give the title to Drew McIntyre. but I just have this itch and this feeling that we're going to see Drew McIntyre be beat by Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I could be 1,000% wrong, and I hope I'm 1,000% wrong, but I just have this feeling in the pit of my stomach that Brock Lesnar's walking out at WrestleMania. As we get further and closer to this event, I'll have a better feeling of how it goes. But 2 years ago, WrestleMania 34, we all 100%, I guarantee nobody who did the predictions predicted Brock Lesnar walking out of WrestleMania after 6 F5s beating Roman Reigns. But he beat Roman Reigns after 6 F5s. What's it going to take? 1 F5, 1, 2, 3, and Brock Lesnar wins? I don't know. I feel like Vince McMahon's going to go down this, that he wants the only person to come out of WrestleMania as the conquering champion to be Roman Reigns over Shitberg. I just have a feeling that's where they're going to go. And it could be scary as fuck that they do that, but we'll have to wait and see. First match of the night was Street Profits versus Seth Rollins and Nobody Murphy. This was a now or never match for the Street Profits. This is only like the third championship opportunity since coming to the main roster. And if they don't win this match, they have no more shots at the. They didn't say no more shots as long as Murphy and Rollins were tag team champions. Just no more shots completely. Which had this little creature, this little voice in the back of my head is, if the Street Profits lose, Montez Ford is going, like Angelo Dawkins is going to turn on Montez Ford, and they're going to break up the Street Profits. I can't be the only one who was thinking that. When you put a now or never on this tagline, one or two things happen. They win the titles, but if they don't win the titles, where do they go from here? Oh, that's right, you break them up. Montez Ford becomes a babyface who eventually goes to the mid-card. Angelo Dawkins turns the heel on Montez Ford, and then he goes to the mid-card, and both members of the Street Profits become a wasted set. Now, the match was okay. You had the only thing really talking point about this match is the ending, where fans Buddy Murphy's outside, he's down. Rollins has the referee distracted, and he's got the referee distracted. He's waving Akam Mazar down, who up on stage. They walk down. He's distracting the referee, but the referee gets out of his distraction, turns around, sees the AOP, points to them both, says, "You out of here." AOP and Murphy come onto the apron, distracting the referee. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Kevin Owens comes into the ring. Stunner. Then, after that, the AOP chase Kevin Owens away. Murphy gets laid out by Angelo Dawkins. Big, huge frog splash. 1, 2, 3. The Street Profits are your new Raw Tag Team Champions. The only problem I have with this is, what have they done to earn a title shot at Super Letdown? And what did they do, because they got beat on Thursday, what did they do to deserve this title match? There hasn't been a chase. This isn't like Jon Moxley winning the world title, or the Young Bucks still trying to chase for that World Tag Team gold and coming up short. So the next time they get a chance, they're going to the next time they get the chance and they win the tag team titles, it's going to be a big deal. I don't get why the Street Profits win this position. Where are the Viking Raiders? Now, the Street Profits are your champions. I'm not mad that the Street Profits won. They are a hell of a tag team, but the tag team division is so convoluted, so fucked up in WWE on Raw and SmackDown, but SmackDown seems to have a little bit better ahead. I don't know what they're going to do. You have the Street Profits, you have the Viking Raiders, you have AOP, you have Murphy and Rollins if you want to, and that is it. There's no other really tag teams out there on Monday Night Raw. After the match, Ford and Dawkins celebrate with the titles as the music hits. We see fans in the crowd with their red cups in the air, and we go to replays. Back from break, and Charlie Caruso, who always has to find that time to find when somebody is at their worst and come in and ask them a question. This is just like, it's what she does all the time. It's like, Charlie Caruso, I know she's not probably really, but man, they make Charlie Caruso seem like a fucking bitch. Rollins reveals they will get their title rematch with the Street Profits at Elimination Chamber, and also addresses Kevin Owens and says Owens can name the time, the place, and the stipulation. But Rollins will crucify him when he gets his hands on Kevin Owens. So, that's going to be a match at WrestleMania. We did not hear from Kevin Owens on the show. I guess they had a backstage thing that he did on the YouTube page, or on their YouTube page or something. But Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, is going to happen at WrestleMania. I will have my predictions for the Elimination Chamber this Friday on the SmackDown review. Since there's so much going on, trying to get predictions done for any day by itself just doesn't work anymore. 24/7 title match, Riddick Moss defending against Ricochet. Ricochet, a guy who was one of the great in the indie scene, going out there having banger after banger after banger of a match, just going out there and kicking ass, taking names. Man, I can't wait to see what this guy does on NXT when he signs with WWE. Gets to NXT, is fantastic, looking great, wins the North American Championship, looks like a badass, can go out there and give you a fucking match of the year candidate with the right person, and then he comes up to the main roster. Him and Aleister Black have a tag team together for the first few months that they're on the main roster, all the way into WrestleMania. Then they go their separate ways as they are split up in the brand in the Superstar Shakeup, even though they both end up on Raw again, which, okay. He wins the U.S. title, loses the U.S. title, back and forth, just win-loss, 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 win-loss. Gets a title opportunity at Super Letdown, squashed within less than a minute, or less than 2 minutes. And here he is, a couple days later, 4 or 5 days later, challenging for the the hated and pathetic 24/7 championship. Ricochet is a dead act. Ricochet is buried. This is the Vince McMahon is done with you treatment. Ricochet doesn't have a chance. And it's funny, because I watched the first 3 episodes of Ruthless Aggression. In one of those episodes, Bruce Pritchard talks about how it takes time to build people up to make them stars, and that they have to go out there. And he's just like, the things that Bruce Pritchard is saying sometimes about building up new guys so they can become new stars. And it's like, gee, if you applied that shit to today, guys like a Ricochet, an Aleister Black, a Cedric Alexander, a Buddy Murphy, a Mike Kanellis, an Eric Young, all these guys would have meaning and wouldn't look like wastes of space. Fans were chanting, "Who are you at Moss?" Nobody in this crowd knew who Riddick Moss was. You know what the sad part is? Ricochet gets beat by Riddick Moss clean for the 24/7 championship. After the match, apparently somebody posted a video on Twitter of Ricochet walking to the back, and he didn't look happy. I wouldn't be surprised if Ricochet asked for his release. Because, honestly, this guy deserves way better than this. Again, of course, I think a lot of people got exposed to Ricochet when him and Will Ospreay had that Best of the Super Juniors match that people called a circus. You saw the video of them just doing all these flippy moves and everything, and like the flip versus dive or whatever, dive versus what, like that argument that people had that Vader got pissed off about when God rest his soul, and everything. This guy, I saw him at What Culture Pro Wrestling, killing it, being a fucking badass. Him and Will Ospreay, when they broke the top rope. Will Ospreay versus Ricochet in the World Cup in the semifinals for WCPW. That was fantastic. People loved him as Prince Puma. I guarantee you, the majority of Ricochet fans wouldn't mind him coming back out into the Indies and becoming Prince Puma again, just to wipe the stain off of Ricochet. This guy has been beaten, buried, and is dead. If he wasn't dead on Thursday, if he wasn't buried on Thursday, he was dead. This was the final nail in Ricochet's coffin. This guy will do nothing in WWE. Everything, all the dreams and aspirations and all the dream matches that we as fans have wanted to see, all the things that we wanted to see Ricochet accomplish, maybe one day, maybe just maybe, by accident, winning the WWE Championship, or winning the Intercontinental title, being a tag team champion, winning everything that's done. Ricochet is going to be on catering. This guy is way too talented for this company. He needs to get his release, let his contract run out, whenever the fuck that is, and go back to being on the indies or going to AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, New Japan, wherever. This guy deserves better than this. This guy is awesome, and the fact that they're going to waste him like that for a nobody like Riddick Moss just shows you that WWE does not know how to book people. Vince McMahon has this vendetta against all these up-and-coming stars from NXT. He gives people 3 weeks most of the time. If you're not over within 3 weeks, he's done with you. You're a used-up toy that broke, and he's going to move on. Ricochet has fallen under that, even though it took a lot longer. Vince McMahon has finally got done with Ricochet, and he's going to not use him anymore, and he's done. It sucks. I would love to see Ricochet in a much better position. Him winning the U.S. title, and if he would have kept that for 4 or 5 months, had badass defenses left and right, it would have been fantastic for Ricochet. But the fact that he won it and then lost it not too long after that, and just continued to lose, then gets squashed by Brock Lesnar, and then beats soundly by Riddick fucking Moss, just shows you what is wrong with this. We go to break, we come back, and it's announced that the Firefly Funhouse on SmackDown will address the match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. You think you should have had a Firefly Funhouse prepared on Friday, explaining what Bray Wyatt's thoughts are on the Fiend losing the title to Goldberg at Super Letdown? No, you didn't do that. Then you have those fucking dumbasses on Busted Open, and yes, I'm lumping Bully Ray into here because he's a fucking dumbass, trying to justify the fact that the Fiend lost the title in squash fashion. They squashed the Fiend, and you're gonna have Bully Ray and his fucking colleagues on Busted Open sit there and try and say, this was the best for everybody. This benefits everybody. No, it does not, and you're going to see. Oh, they want you to boo Goldberg. They want you to cheer Roman, so when the night's over at WrestleMania, Roman is the most over guy in the company. Let me tell you something, dumbasses. When we get to WrestleMania and we see that they've retreaded Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns from 2018, by the time we get to WrestleMania, that entire building, that entire Raymond James Stadium, if there's even half the people there, are going to be booing both Roman and Shitberg, just like they did to Lesnar and Roman in 2018, just like those who booed Brock Lesnar and Goldberg in 2004. It's going to be the same shit, different year. Get used to it. So WWE's plan looks like it's working now, is going to backfire in the end. Moving on, we were supposed to get Aleister Black versus AJ Styles. Out come the OC, and AJ Styles is not happy because of what happened at Super Letdown, getting squashed within 2 minutes with one move against The Undertaker. So The Undertaker could add that trophy to his long, somewhat list of accomplishments. He shows this video, and for whatever fucking reason, Mark Wahlberg giving him advice on dealing with Taker. Why Mark Wahlberg was doing that, it must be just the WWE got, like, Mark Wahlberg's movie bought promotional time with WWE, whatever. Why? I don't care. AJ says he's on a collision course with Undertaker, and he hopes Taker is watching the match with Aleister Black tonight. He wants Taker to consider this a warning. Says Taker is a legend who is trying to hold on to the spotlight that's not his anymore. It's AJ's music, and it's AJ's. Out comes Aleister Black. Black gets to the ring, ready to fight, but he didn't read the contract, apparently. And what contract? I didn't see you guys sign a contract, AJ. He challenged you to a match. You accepted it, apparently. And we have a non-existent contract where he has to take on Carl Anderson. conveniently has to take on Carl Anderson. He beats Carl Anderson within about 3 minutes. Second rope moonsault, nails a second rope moonsault. Black mass, 1, 2, 3. That was that. AJ looks shocked and says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! I have to redo the contract. I have to tell you about the contract again. It says that you have to beat Anderson, but you also have to beat Gallows." So Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Gallows immediately beats him. They go blow for blow. Aleister Black's in the corner, and Gallows keeps beating on him. Ref pulls him away. He gets on him, beats on him again. Beth pulls him away, gets on him again, and the referee calls for the bell. Aleister Black wins by DQ. After the bell, Anderson and Gallows double team Black in the corner. AJ laughs as he steps in the ring. Gallows and Anderson with the magic killer on Black. They ring the bell. AJ Styles beats Aleister Black in like a minute. By the way, this was Aleister Black's first pinfall loss on main roster television. Apparently, what I read. You've got to be kidding me. You just sacrificed this guy for AJ Styles and The Undertaker. Why? You have sacrificed Aleister Black for a match that nobody with a brain, that's right, nobody with a functioning brain would be excited for in 2020. 2010, if AJ Styles came in and it was him and The Undertaker, I would have been all for it. I'd be like, oh shit, this should be a fantastic match. AJ Styles, in the prime of his career, Undertaker still able to fucking go, look fantastic. Because if you remember, in 2010 was when WrestleMania 26 happened, and that was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Remember that? That was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker 2. How good a match that was. And here we are, 10 years later, Undertaker, the shell of his former self, AJ Styles starting to wind down his career, and we have to see these two go out there and have AJ Styles put Undertaker on his back and carry him through a piss poor as close to as good of a match as they can get. Give me a fucking break. Kelly Cruiser is backstage with Ruby Riott. She shows us how Ruby Riott returned last month and attacked Liv Morgan. We also see Liv jumping and vaulting over the table at the contract signing to beat up on her. It is talk that we are going to have Liv Morgan versus Ruby Riott with Sarah Logan as the special guest referee. Oh boy, a match that I don't think anybody wants to see. Charlie asks if Ruby if she saw that Riott Squad breaking up like this. Ruby talks about people not staying loyal and says she only is responsible for herself now. And the confidence about winning the chamber this Sunday, saying there's no friends inside the Elimination Chamber. Actually, if you remember, the Riott Squad broke up when Liv Morgan in the Superstar Shakeup last year was moved to SmackDown, and Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott stayed on Raw. Ruby injured both shoulders and was gone. Sarah Logan did nothing. Liv Morgan did nothing on SmackDown. They brought her back to Raw, left the other two on Raw, and there you go. So we get a terrible match between Ruby Riott, who never needed the Riott Squad, and Liv Morgan, who is just okay. Ruby gets up towards the end of the match, and she had a pinfall 2 count. She's arguing with Sarah Logan. Sarah's like, I'm the referee, don't fucking mess with me. Ruby Riott shoves her. Liv Morgan comes from behind, rolls her up, 1, 2, 3, and that was that. After the match, Ruby yells at Logan, but she gets shoved to the mat. Liv runs over and drop kicks Ruby to the top mat. Liv takes out, then Logan with a running knee to Liv with a big shot. Logan is all smiles as she exits the ring while her music hits, leaving Liv and Riott laid out. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That's half of the fucking Elimination Chamber, by the way. That's half of the Elimination Chamber. We see Randy Orton backstage in a very dark, brooding area. Then we go to commercial. Back from break, we see what Randy Orton did to Hall of Famer Edge on the post-Rumble edition of Raw. Beth Phoenix will be here later tonight to give us an update. You know what? Jose is backstage, and this, oh my god, I knew it was going to be a disappointment from day one. From the moment that Eric Rowan debuted the cage and was talking to it, I knew whatever the fuck came out of there was going to be a disappointment. Nothing they pulled out of there was going to be something that was like, oh my god. So, No Way Jose and his conga line walk into Rowan. And Jose asks if he can see it because, please, what's in the cage? Rowan says all he's been waiting for is a guy who asks respectfully, like Jose did, to see what's in the cage. Rowan says he's going to show Jose and all of his friends what's in the cage. Then he reaches in the cage and brings out this mechanical fucking spider. You could tell it was fake because when he's swinging around, the legs of the tarantula are swinging around in a circle. They're like swinging around like they're in a circle. Everyone's terrified, they run away. He chuckles, puts it back in the cage, and that was that. Where did they get that? The party store? The Halloween store on November? What the fuck was this? For weeks, actually, for not weeks, months, since the draft and Eric Rowan was brought to Monday Night Raw, we have seen this fucking cage. What's in the cage? What does he have? A fucking spider. Not just any spider, a fake Halloween spider. This company is so stupid. I knew from day one this was going to be a massive disappointment, but really? A fucking fake tarantula. Oh my god, this company just makes me want to roll my eyes in the back of my head and not watch a damn thing again. Rip my hair out. Cut my arms off. Something to make that we move more exciting than this. You know what's funny? I've watched all 4 weeks of XFL football. I've watched all the games so far. And I've had more entertainment in these first 4 weeks of the season than I've had watching Monday Night Raw or SmackDown in 4 years. 4 years or something like that. It's funny how Vince McMahon's other project, his side project, maybe his investment, I don't know. I get more entertainment out of from the access from the behind the scenes access to the football on the field than I do Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Isn't that sad? Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. On paper, this match would be good because it's Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler. They have history. One fucking problem. Kairi Sane is a heel. Shayna Baszler is a heel. The only thing you're going to be talking about this match is Becky Lynch looking like a fucking clown. Becky Lynch comes out halfway through this match wearing goofy sunglasses and a yellow, like a canary yellow jacket, like long jacket, like a pimp jacket. And she sits down by the commentator and is talking to him. We come back from break, and she's wearing King's crown. She looked fucking ridiculous. There was a time that it was 2 years ago, mind you, like 2 years, like a year and 6 months ago, Becky Lynch was fucking the most hottest prospect, hottest babyface, hottest overact in this company. In 2020, she is a shell of that. I can see why trying to have somebody outside of a Brock Lesnar who could do it and has done it and hold a championship for almost a year. It's so hard to do in WWE simply because they shove them down their throats, they fuck with what they were, and Shayna Baszler cannot win this championship fast enough. This has been atrocious. This has been some of the most cringe-inducing garbage I have seen. She comes out there, sits, looks like a fucking clown. And I'm supposed to sit there and take this woman seriously? Sitting there, just sitting back with this fucking ugly fucking jacket on, these ugly fucking sunglasses on, wearing King's ugly fucking crown. Saying, oh, I'm the man, I could be king too. It's like, ugh. And then you wonder why Becky Lynch star power is fading. It's not because we don't. It's not because we don't like Becky by choice. It's because WWE is booking Becky Lynch in a way that turns fans off. Her losing to Shayna Baszler, she and Steph both need to exit the WWE scenery for now, and don't come back until the pay-per-view until the pay-per-view, like the day after. What is it? Money in the Bank, Extreme Rules, Elimination Chamber, whatever it is. The pay-per-view that happens in July. If it's Extreme Rules, then Extreme Rules. The night after that, they can come back and do whatever the fuck they want going into SummerSlam. I don't want to see them after WrestleMania. Becky cannot lose that title fast enough. I'm being serious. This has been terrible. Becky Lynch's title reign started off good. It started off good until they paired her with Lacey Evans. Then after that, well, actually, I didn't say this. Becky Lynch's title reign has been terrible. It has been absolutely fucking atrocious. Lacey Evans, let me see. Lacey Evans, Natalya, if I'm correct. Not really having anybody else to go up against. Sasha Banks was the only bright spot of her title reign. Was Sasha Banks in Hell in a Cell. That was it. They had her. She didn't defend the title like from Sasha Banks all the way to the fucking Royal Rumble. She never defended the title, and that's not by her fault. That's all WWE's. Had her and Charlotte go up against Kairi Sane and Asuka for the women's tag team titles in a match that Kairi Sane got fucking blasted and concussed. And and then after the match with Kairi Sane and Asuka and losing that, she started doubting herself, sounding like a pussy, sounding like someone who just, it was so bad. Oh, so fucking bad. And Shane and Becky Lynch, week by week by week, has become a forced version of what made Becky Lynch cool. When Becky Lynch was cool, she felt natural, she felt relatable, she felt real. This doesn't feel like Becky Lynch anymore. This feels like a shell of that, and it's WWE. They do this to everybody. Even when Drew McIntyre, if Drew McIntyre beats Brock Lesnar, we're gonna love it. We're gonna be all happy and everything. And then WWE is going to do the same thing to him. They're going to shove him down our throats to the point where it's like, God damn, stop it, shut the fuck up, get Drew McIntyre off television. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Again, I'm hoping they don't do what I think they're going to do and have Brock Lesnar retain over Drew McIntyre, which I honestly, there's a part of me that thinks that's going to happen, especially after the display they did tonight. But this match really didn't fucking matter. Shayna Baszler wins with the Karafuda clutch, she had her in the standing Karafuda clutch. She didn't even have to fall backwards. Again, this match would have been better on paper. It was better on paper until you realize, whoa, these two are both heels. And Shayna Baszler, if you've watched Shayna Baszler go over against Bianca Belair, when in their first title match against each other, Bianca Belair was a heel turned de facto babyface because you were going up against Shayna Baszler, and that match was terrible. I can't say it was terrible, but it wasn't a good match because they didn't work well together in that state. Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane has to play a babyface, and she can't play a babyface right now because they have her being this nasty, despicable heel with Asuka. So having her be a heel and Shayna Baszler being a heel, this match didn't work at all. Baszler stands tall. Becky stands on the announce table and raises the title in the air. She's talking trash. Baszler cries to carry through the clutch to Sane again. Becky continues running her mouth, saying, "Hey, I ain't got my wrestling boots, but I'll fight ya." He breaks the hold and exits the ring, and that is that. Backstage, Sarah Shaw was backstage with Rey Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo. They address tonight's tag team match and say whole thing will end when and how they want it to. Rey Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo versus Angel Garza, I can't say it right, and Andrade. Cien Almas. This was a good match. This probably was the best thing on the show outside of Drew McIntyre laying 3 Claymores into Drew McIntyre and into Brock Lesnar. I'm sitting here thinking because it was like, There's only like 4 matches going into the Elimination Chamber at this time. 2 chamber matches, tag team title match for Raw, and what's the other match? The Intercontinental title match. So I'm thinking Rey Mysterio and Alberto Carrillo are going to win this match, no doubt about it, because they want to get the title off of Andrade after his suspension, which they should have taken the title off of him the night that he got DDT through the fucking concrete, because guess what? That was a fucking title match, and they could have took the title off of him there. But, so I'm thinking here, we only have 4 matches. It's now 5 because AJ Styles and Aleister Black will go one-on-one at the pay-per-view Elimination Chamber in a no disqualification match. So I'm thinking that's still 5. Maybe we can get one more because it is the Elimination Chamber and you have 2 chamber matches. So I was thinking it's either going to happen at the pay-per-view or next Monday on Raw. Humberto Carrillo pins Andrade after a pretty good match between these 4 guys, which, come on, it's 4 luchadors. 4 luchadors in a tag team match. Come the fuck on. Give me a break. But one of 2 things is going to happen. Humberto Carrillo gets, after the double 619, because Andrade and Angel Garza was on the ropes. Andrade is thrown onto him. Double 619. Rey Mysterio then takes Garza down onto the floor. Carrillo goes up top, hits a beautiful looking moonsault. Hey Charlotte, I know you get pointers from Andrade's friend down in Mexico. You might want to look at Angel Garza on how to do a fucking moonsault, because your moonsault fucking sucks. 1, 2, 3, and Humberto Carrillo wins, and that was their match. Good match overall. I would say that Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo will probably happen. People are speculating maybe these 4 guys in a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania, which I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing it at all. Give these guys 20 minutes at WrestleMania, 15 to 20 minutes in a fatal 4-way. Opening the show, being the first match on the night. Take my money. We see Beth Phoenix walking backstage, back to commercial, back from break, and out comes Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix. She takes the mic and says she appreciates this time on Raw. She's here to give a medical update on her husband, Hall of Famer Edge. Before she can continue, out comes Randy Orton. Orton enters the ring, goes for a hug. Beth puts her hand out in front and is like, no, we ain't doing that. He puts his hand out to shake. He stares him down, takes the mic and says, do you think I'm going to, in a very emotional voice, do you think I'm going to hug you or shake your hand after what you did to my husband, you son of a bitch? Like, whoa, she said a bad word, oh God. Fans chant RKO as Randy takes a seat on the top turnbuckle. I was speculating, everyone was speculating. There was no fucking way that this show was going to end without Beth Phoenix taking an RKO. He gets on the turnbuckle, she says, Orton needs to hear this more than anybody. I'm here because I'm a wife and I need my husband. And I'm here as a mother because my kids need their father. Orton steps down to the mat, sizing her up. Orton says, it's a certainty that Edge will never wrestle again after what I did to him. I owe you an explanation, and I'm going to give it to you. I remember he goes, we're going to have story time with Randy Orton. Please, somebody, please make this a bit on YouTube, because I'm not good at doing that. Back in 1999, his father took him to an event in St. Louis, which is where he's from and where he lives. He meets some WWE agents because Orton in 19 wanted to break into the business. Of course, this was after going AWOL and going to jail for a minute for court-martial. Orton says he was a fan at this point and goes on and talks about all these guys coming up, shaking their hand, like seeing these guys, and the only person who came up to his father to pay him respects was Edge. He shook his father's hand. He introduced him to Edge, and Edge told him and shook his hand and said, if you play your cards right, maybe one day we can work together. And he talks about working against Edge and stealing the show each night, then becoming tag team champions together with Edge. But he said he ended up making some bad choices and ended up in a hole, but Edge pulled him out of it, showing him there's more to life, like having family, kids, and life, and everything. Orton says Edge saved his life. Beth is crying. She's getting emotional. Orton says he returned the favor and saved Edge's life. He realized after the Royal Rumble that Edge thought he was back for good. Orton knew better. Orton wanted Beth's kids to have their father, wanted you to have your husband. He thanked Ed. He said Orton says thanks to him, Edge will be able to be there for the kids, and did it because he loves Edge, he loves Beth, and he loves their two little girls, Lyric and Ruby. By the way, Lyric, come on, guys. What the fuck? But here's the sad truth. Everyone blames me for what I've done to Edge. But it's not my fault. Beth, you know it's not my fault. It's your fault. It's your fault because you're an enabler. If he was a druggie, you wouldn't give him drugs. If he was an alcoholic, you wouldn't give him a drink. Edge is a junkie. He is a junkie for the war of the crowd. And Beth did nothing. Nothing. I had to step in and make the decision for you. It says he loves Edge and their daughters more than Beth ever could. It says the truth hurts. She gets upset. She slaps him. He gets pissed. He tosses the mic. Stares at her. He has his head down. He just looks up at this, stares at her. Slowly brings his head up. He's fuming. Orton is fuming as well. He calls her a bitch. Off microphone, of course. She kicks him in the gut, and then he hits her with the RKO. And then he exits. She's out. Crowd looks shocked. Officials rush to the ring to check on her. We get the announcers to play up the seriousness of the situation and let you remind you this. The referee, the announcer said this is a despicable and serious act. Why would you take an act that is so despicable and serious and show it over and over and over again? You don't need to show 56 million fucking replays of this attack over and over and over again. You want me to take this seriously? He hits the RKO. You have the announcers bring up the seriousness, and then you go back to the ring and see Rey Mysterio, Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, Natalya, R-Truth, Devon, and other officials tending to Beth, and that's all you have to do. But no, let's show some replays, see people in the ring, let's show more replays, and then we go from there. The angle was fine, but we don't need to see the replays every single fucking time. This was one of those moments where, you see the RKO, the time freezes. You show the shots to the crowd. You go back to the commentators. They talk about the seriousness of this. They play it up, how despicable Randy Orton is. Then you go look at the crowd. You go look in the ring, and you see Ed. The microphones are cut off from the announcers, and you just watch Beth Phoenix being attended to by Natalya, Rey Mysterio. The former Edge heads, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, who were wearing Edge's t-shirt tonight, by the way, which that was a nice touch. R-Truth also wearing an Edge shirt, and all these producers from Devon to others coming in, and you just I can't take this fucking serious if you're going to sit there and just, we'll have the commentators talk about this while we show you fucking replays over and over and over again. Come the fuck on. If you want us to take it seriously, you go to the commentators, they play it up, you go to the ring, and you just silence. You have the crowd reaction, the crowd noise, while you watch Beth Phoenix be tended to by everybody around her. And you go to black like that. But did they do that? Hell no. WWE had a great way to end this fucking show, and they had to fuck it up by just going to replays over and over and over. You want to play up Orton's despicableness, you don't treat it as just another normal angle. They did it with Edge and Matt Hardy as well. That took them down a little bit as well. If it's supposed to be something fucking serious, you don't have to continue to show replays. And that was Monday Night Raw. The show started off with a great fucking opening segment with Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. A good finish to a good match with the Street Profits and Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins. And it ended with a great tag team match with 4 luchadors that if they wanted to make that a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania for the United States title, sign me the fuck up with 15 to 20 minutes for those guys, which will probably be on the pre-show, but still. And then you ended with that good angle, except for I think the story time went a little too long. And then you just had to just ham it up with replay after replay after replay. Come on. If you want this shit you want us as fans to take this shit seriously, you don't have to buddy it. You don't have to ham it up with
replay after replay after replay after replay. But that is your Monday Night Raw review for Monday, March 3rd, March 2nd, 2020. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Week 4 analysis of the XFL. Until then, my name is Franz, and I'll see you guys later.